Everybody, we are back. It is Taped on Live's favorite podcast, favorite channel, favorite everything. We are back. You guys already know what to do. Hit the subscribe button, subscribe. Hit the like button if you like it. Hit the dislike button if you don't like it. Leave a comment if you like it. Leave a comment if you don't like it. Also follow us on Twitter at DMarkJohnNFL for me, at MHolder95 for Matt, and of course, pandasups.com, discount code TDL. All right, so we're going over the loss, the end of the Raiders season, basically the season-ending game. Next game is just for kicks and fun. We're just having a great football game next week. Let's go watch it, enjoy it, right? It doesn't really mean anything. It doesn't mean anything for the Broncos either, does it? Aren't the Broncos out?
Nope. Broncos are out.
Yeah, because the Steelers
lost. Oh no, that's right. They won last week, but yeah, they're out.
Yeah, Steelers ruined it for everybody last week. Mason Rudolph came in, beat the Seahawks. He got to go shock the world and took the job from Kenny Pickett and ruined a bunch of seasons, man. Everybody's season's over after the Steelers won. Seriously, they might take out the Bills, which is crazy.
Oh, they can't. Oh, if they win, they're in, huh?
If they win, they're in, and the Bills lose, they're out. So the Bills have to win.
So who's? I don't even remember right now. So the Colts are in. And the Browns are in. The Colts not in yet.
No, Colts aren't. The division is up for grabs in
right
in AFC South.
Oh,
so
the Texans too. Yeah,
the Texans could win the division, or the Colts can win the division. So, so I think the 7th seed is probably. That's what I'm saying. It's probably going to the Steelers because the Ravens are going to sit their guys out probably.
That's real wild.
Go ahead.
I was going to say, I want no part of watching the Steelers in the playoffs. I want no part of Mason Rudolph in the playoffs. Somehow,
he's playing pretty well.
We need Pro Bowler Tyler Huntley to have the game of his life.
Yeah, to save us from Josh, or the Bills go there and beat the Dolphins, which is very possible because the Dolphins are already in. So that's what.
If the Bills win, they're in. I don't even know what
the Bills win. They win the division, but if they lose and the Steelers lose, they don't go make the playoffs. It's wild. That's a wild drop, Doc. But so the Raiders are out of it. We're talking about next season. We're talking about draft. We're talking about Senior Bowl. We're getting ready for those other things. But last thing we're gonna do is review this last game. We're gonna do. I'll probably review the Broncos game. Maybe I don't know. It depends if they win or not.
Depends on how much first backups we want to watch.
Yeah,
it's basically a preseason game. I mean, if you think about it, like we got Jarrett Stidham versus. Aidan O'Connell's a starter now, but two guys that weren't week 1 starters, and probably a lot of young guys playing.
Yeah, and Russ is gonna try to talk to Mark Davis this week. He's very just, hey Mark, how you doing, man? I'm Russell Wilson. Sierra loves Vegas. Sierra loves it. But so he's gonna try to do that. But Raiders, this game, it was a weird game to watch. I don't know how you felt about it, Matt, but it was a really weird game for me. I feel like the offense actually played better than I thought.
Yeah,
it was just they had 3 4th and less than 5 at the 45-yard line. Yeah, 3 of them. They punted twice. One, they punted the other time, but got a roughing the punter, so they got lucky. So they scored on that drive. They scored a touchdown on that drive.
Yeah.
So I think that was a little
second half, right? I was gonna say that was the first drive of the second half, right?
Mm-hmm. And that was like a 4th and 2.
AJ Cole, our savior.
You know what I'm saying? Like, so I think it's a little bit of this game was on Antonio Pierce to me when I went and watched the film back, because I was like, yo, your offense is moving the football. They're moving the ball. They start at the 20, they get to the 45. That means they're moving the football pretty consistently. And if you went for it a couple times, like the 4th and 1 was like, bro, why are you punting here? What are you doing? It's 4th and 1 in 2023 NFL, dog. Like, I know the defense has been playing really well, but you're on the 44 and it's 4th and 1, and they just gave up a big touchdown, an easy drive. Remember they went there for like in 2 seconds, and they come down and get a field goal or whatever. I think they might have punted actually, but then they came back down the field again. The Raiders down 7-3, and it's 4th and 1, and he punts.
That's a tough one.
Yeah. See, that was for me. That was like a big thing. Like if they went for it and they lost the drive, that's fine. But like punting there was just it wasn't something that I liked. And I think that was a little bit of the game, because the next time it happened and then they punted, they got a roughing the kicker, and then they went down and scored. So who knows what would have happened, because they were moving the ball so well. They were running the ball pretty well. Aidan O'Connell played pretty well. You saw his PFF grade. He played pretty well. He had a high QBR. Like, everything was actually looking pretty good. It was just they would get to the 45 and then have a fourth and short. It was frustrating. Like, even the 4th and 4, there was the 3rd and 4 where they something happened because Gus Bradley was like blitzing from like his linebackers from like 6 yards deep. It was crazy. They'd be like 7 yards deep, like talking to each other. And then here they come, and they've confused Amir Abdullah. I might show one of that play. Maybe I will. I actually took it out, but they confuse Amir Abdullah, who starts to go on a route, but then he sees just 2 linebackers coming on the blitz free.
Yeah, I've never seen that.
And then Aidan O'Connell just has to get rid of it. He throws it in the ground, right in front of Adams. But it's 4th and 4, man, and you're down in the 4th quarter and you punt. Yeah, I don't know. That was kind of weird. I thought those things bothered me a little bit more than anything that really happened in the offense. Also, I'm questioning why the hell Kolton Miller didn't play the whole game, because Kolton Miller came in and he was just lights out, and Aidan O'Connell just played so much better because there's no more pressure coming from the Mumford side. So it was just like, why didn't he play the whole game? You know what I mean? Like, this is for the playoffs, and he can't play, obviously, because he went in there. I mean, lights out. They're running the ball better. Yeah. They're passing better. I don't know, bro. It was just weird to me. That's what was weird about it. But go ahead.
It's interesting to me that like you kind of walked away with the takeaway of O'Connell playing well. I felt like I can see where you're coming from. Where like if he did probably make more throws than he missed. It just felt like the like key ones, like you're talking about on 3rd down, that like went to the ground, and then obviously them not going for it, which also makes me wonder if like does Pierce not have like an analytics guy in his ear?
He supposedly does.
Yeah, that's what I thought. Like, I thought that was one of the big changes this year, is like they have someone to give him those decisions. So
you can ignore him though. Like,
yeah, it's very true, very true. But yeah,
you can ignore him. So yeah, because that's what, because O'Connell wasn't like great, right? But he was actually, we were talking about how he's either great or he's terrible. We finally got the in between kind of good game. Okay. Like, it was just like he wasn't just like he didn't turn the ball over. He didn't really make a bad decision. I think he missed some things downfield. But I think some of those plays he was keen on Adams. But I thought he played better than it looked. He just played way better in the second half. Colton Miller came in the game, and it was Superman. It was like Will Reed came out, like he's gonna come save us. They started running the ball. He's getting second level. I was like, what? Why was he playing? So that was tough for me to watch. Go ahead.
I feel like Colton Miller, like, he's not really a guy that's going to sit out. I mean, I feel like he's got to be pretty damn banged up. Like, it's probably going to be like a situation like, and I was thinking this even before. Like, we're probably going to find out about Colton Miller having like off-season surgery where he's got to get at least something cleaned up. Like,
yeah,
like if he's like basically playing as an emergency guy, like that tells me something's pretty messed up.
He was so lights out, bro. He came in, it was like didn't give him a pressure. He was killing Mumford, and then here comes Colton Miller, just dominates him like he's just a weakling.
Bacham, Samson Bacham, is he 52?
Yeah. He just came in and just acting like he was just a normal guy. Like, you're not Myles Garrett. Who are you? You know what I mean? Yeah. All right, but to the defense, what did you see on the defense?
Kind of the opposite. Obviously, I feel like we talked them up a little bit on Sunday, and then watching the film, like the Colts probably should have blown them out. Like, there were a few or several coverage breaks in the first half. The two that stick out in mind were, again, cover 3. Moehrig's playing the post safety, and they get, I guess, Yankee concept with the deep dig, and then the post, and like Moehrig or Jones passes it off to Moehrig. Moehrig goes to nail the crosser, and then Robertson stays on the crosser too. So the post was wide open for a touchdown, but Minshew was locked in on the check down already on the short throw. And I mean, they still completed it, but had he thrown him, the guy walks in on a touchdown. And then in the second half too, like we'll see it a little bit with John Jenkins. Like, Jenkins obviously made a handful of plays. Like, he definitely played better, but one of the things that was curious to me, like when I was looking at the PFF grades, like he was actually below average. I think he played a little bit better than that. I wouldn't have put him in a below average category.
Yeah.
But there were a lot of negative plays too, where like they were kind of like, it was funny. Like every other run, it almost felt like the Colts were all of a sudden getting these like chunk runs where it was like, I wouldn't be surprised. I didn't look at the numbers if Jonathan Taylor averaged like 5 yards, because it was like 1 yard gain, 10 yard gain, 1 yard gain, 10 yard gain. And it was just kind of like that the entire game. So not as promising as I thought. But one guy that did stand out though, Trevon Moehrig. Trevon Moehrig was playing like he like the playoffs were on the line. He was throwing his body around a little bit. Posted some of those clips, and we'll look at it today. He was looking a lot better, and we'll see him a few times with some nice reps and man coverage against tight ends. So one of his big deficiencies in the past, he was actually playing pretty well at. So that was fun to see. But yeah, kind of a little bit disappointing, I thought, for the defense, just on what I was going into it. Not that they were playing that bad necessarily, but not as dominant as you would have liked. And I mean, the pass rush, Colts only threw the ball like 20 times, or Gardner Minshew only had 20 attempts, something like that.
Mm-hmm.
Not quite what you were hoping for. Malcolm Kuntz got kind of shut down a little bit. So,
yeah. Mm-hmm. Yeah, the pass rush is the defense, and then they couldn't stop the run, which means Jonathan Taylor. I saw Zach Hicks tweet something about they did a lot of wham blocks, a lot of power.
Yeah, they got Jenkins bad on a trap. We'll see one of those. It was a wham or a trap, so 6 of 1, whatever. But yeah, they got him one time on that, and they were running that a lot with the tight end across the formation. That was killing them. So.
All right, let's get into this, man. Let's just do some film. I'll go first. I'll do the offense first.
Sounds good.
All right, so today we're going over Davante Adams and Tre Tucker. Adams had 21 targets. I'm not doing all 21, okay? But we're gonna go through a lot of them. We're gonna go through a lot of them, and even some where he didn't get the football. All right, so first, one thing they're doing, which Bo Hardigree has done, is get him free releases. So you see he's in the slot here. I love this throw by Aidan O'Connell, but I hate this play because it's an Adam Gase play. I don't like it. This is Adam Gase's bread and butter here. So, because what you're getting is you're going to get in, I believe it's out route from Tucker, and basically it's like a different aspect of the spot concept, like a deeper one. But you see here how they're getting the free release for Adams. So nobody's on him, right? It's a free release. And you get a good throw here by Aidan O'Connell. And I mean, it's a good concept for his cover 3 too. You know what I mean?
Just say put the corner in conflict.
Mm-hmm. It's a good concept. Open the game. Not good throw. Right? So here we go. So here when we talk about like Adams not being the same guy, right? So we're getting free releases here. We still give him a free release on this one, right? We get him inside slot position here in the little stack formation, but we get a one-on-one with 35 here. I think his name is Lemons or something like that. And when I was watching this route, I was just thinking about Asante Samuel and what all the things he did to Asante Samuel last year. And it's just not the same separation here, right?
Yeah. And
then he's able to break this pass up. And we'll get to Tre Tucker later. I know what you're thinking on this play. I know what you're thinking when you're watching it. I'll get to that later, guys. Well, watch it one more time here. Because O'Connell does think he's getting a one-on-one with Devonte Adams, to be fair, right? He thinks he's getting a one-on-one with this guy. I don't know who this guy is, but he's not Patrick Surtain, right? And you're expecting just a little bit more separation there from Adams.
The burst out of the cut, like, you know what I mean? Like that was like, I know you got it slow mode, but like there's no explosion like that we're used to seeing.
And that's the big thing we're missing. And that's why I was wondering if he's hurt or if it's because it's just not a lot of separation out of a route like that. Asante Samuel was like on the floor on that type of route last year. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I know. Yeah.
All right, so here we go. Once again, here's another one. Now this one is just nasty. There
we go.
Right. So, like I said, there's still elements of it still being there. So, just 40 is just done. And I like this concept because they're not expecting him to throw deep here, right? But how is this not pass interference? I've been watching this. Somebody explain to me. Matt, you help me out.
I will say, probably it should be pass interference, but don't reward a bad ball. You know what I mean?
He got popped, though. He got hit really hard.
Yeah.
To be fair.
Like, if O'Connell just keeps that ball, on the sideline, it's probably 6.
Yeah. Oh, I agree. He got smashed, though.
But yeah.
Let that ball go.
As far as the contact goes, yeah, that's probably a good point.
Oh my god! All right. I mean, hey, you just think a superstar wide receiver to get that. That's all I'd say. All right, so like I say here, you can get him free releases though. I mean, he's really just as good. So to me, it's like, where is his future? If the Raiders re-sign him, right, or no, keep him, don't trade him.
Yeah.
Like, where is his future? I feel like his future is when you use him like this, right? Because he's still super effective off these free releases. He's a really good slot receiver, to be honest, and he can still be like a 111 catch guy, 1,213 yards. I just don't know if like the deep fade thing is really there right now. All right, so on this one, right, it's a good exposure. I actually kind of like this route because if O'Connell's not, kind of just taking a sack here, this is one of his bad plays. I'll tell you, Kolton Miller came in and he just was a totally different guy. It didn't make any sense. So if he throws his ball, if he's already starting to throw it, I don't know why he's not. And then he kind of just takes a sack. He's got enough separation here. So this is I like this. I like this route right here. He's physical at the top of the stem, right? He gives good eyes on the fade too. You see the eyes. She kind of shows the fade and stops, comes out. If that ball is there, that's a catch.
Yeah.
So, see, that's what I'm saying. It's like these shorter routes, these routes like that. I mean, he's still super effective. It's just like when you get to these fades and some of these other things, you can kind of see the explosion a little bit gone. You know what I'm saying? Because like here we go again. Now you get him on a little inside route on play action. Right there. Good route. He finds the hole.
Yeah, that's it.
All right. And he sells it really well. He's got 40 going outside a lot. That play action is right there. He sits, gets down on the ground. So, the more I watch this, I'm like, okay, there's something I can work with. I can work with this. Like if we get a good coordinator that can move him around and get him some free releases, I think he could still be great, to be honest. So like here on this one, it's another good route right here. So, kind of sells it right around. O'Connell has good timing on this one. So Kolton Miller's in the game. So now he has great timing. See, Kolton Miller comes in. Now he throws on time. 4 guys have his break. It just made no sense for a touchdown. All right. So here we go. Where's he at? All right. So here we are. We're down here on this one. Just the slant here. So you kind of see like he wins, but it's just not as explosive out of the break there. You know what I mean? You drop that ball too.
Yeah. I mean, ball can be better in his chest too, I'd say.
Yeah.
But yeah, you'd expect the guy that's supposed to be the top receiver in the NFL to come out with that.
So those late hands. Yeah. Just look at this. Miller just went to work, man. I was just saying, like, how hurt was he, bro? He was just balling. It was just crazy how the offense kind of changed when he came in the game. So now this is a great route right here. So this is what I'm talking about, like getting these inside routes where he's not like outside 50 or whatever. You get him kind of lined up inside a little bit condensed. Oh, right there, get him. Easy.
Yeah. That's the guy we're used to seeing.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I think you just got to mix it up where he's not facing as much press coverage, to be honest.
Which is crazy because that's been his strength throughout the majority of his career.
Yeah. So you see even on this one, look, he does Julius Brent. You guys, Brent's all confused. Because what does this look like? Let's keep it real. This looks like Dagger. We're going to keep it real. This is Dagger. It does. This is Dagger, right? Oh, you got Brent. He's thinking, okay, he's about to run inside. Nope. Great route.
Ooh.
That was great. I like that. Fake the dagger. I don't even know if you. I wonder if he was supposed to do that. Because you see him, I'll go back. You see him kind of like hesitate. He's like, "Oh, what are you doing? Oh, I like it." he's like, "Oh, okay, I like that. That's better."
So when you fake out your own teammate, you fake out your own quarterback.
All right, here we go. 3rd and 6. Now the play before this was pass interference. I really wanted to show that play. I didn't show up, but the play before this was pass interference too. He like grabbed him basically, but whatever. There's a couple plays. I was like, what? I don't know. All right, see on this one. I mean, this is not a great throw, but there's really no back shoulder area, nowhere for him to go with this football either. Julius Brents just was balled all game, especially in press coverage, dude. He was nuts.
Like you pause, like back up a little bit. Mm-hmm. Look at how long that dude's arms are. He touches toes standing up.
Brits is ridiculous, bro. I was like, oh my God, you're good. You're like Gus Bradley's dream.
Yeah. Jeez.
Yeah.
I wish they drafted that guy so bad.
Me too. he did this one play on Jacoby Myers, bro. Man. Jacoby should have got that ball, but Brent said, no, you're not catching the ball, and just knocked it out of his hand. All right, and this is vintage Devonte Adams here against press coverage. So this right here, that's vintage right there. And that's it right there. You know what I mean? So it's still there. It's just like he's not beating every single guy to death. It's not dominance. Yeah. You know what I mean? Like last year was just like the most dominant film. I watched it a minute. Like he was just ridiculously dominant. And I guess that he's not like that anymore. It's kind of just, I'm like, oh. But he's still really good though. He's still a great player. All right, now let's get some Tre Tucker. Now Tre Tucker, I just want to say, if the Raiders could draft a quarterback, they got to find a guy who can throw the ball. Like, and it's not, and it's like, you know what, Trey's gonna go get it. That's what the Raiders need. The Raiders need, if they get any quarterback, they got to get a guy who thinks Tre Tucker can just go get it. Seriously, because you're gonna see it. You're gonna see a lot of these things. So in this one, he gets Brent's staring inside, and it's already over for him. It's over. It's over. He doesn't look at him because
help.
He's like, "Somebody help me!" And O'Connell's not even looking at it because he's looking at Adams with the 1-on-1. He's expecting winning that dig. No, he doesn't win the dig. But to me, see, that's the thing. To me, you got to throw to this side. But that's just my opinion. I know what, maybe that's he wanted to throw to Adams. He's got a 1-on-1. I get it. Devonte Adams is great. But you got Julius Brents first. I don't know. What is Julius Brents' 40? I don't think it's that high. Is it?
He wasn't speaking. I'll take a look.
Like, that's the mismatch.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
4.53.
That's a mismatch, bro. It's over. And then he doesn't get his hands on him. Gone. But that's what I mean. Like, that's what you have to think. Like, I got a 1-on-1 because, to be honest, Tre Tucker has such a good release. Like, I got a 1-on-1 with Tre Tucker, and I know unless he thought this was gonna be safety help over here, but this guy dropped.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that was a big miss. But I mean, I understand it because you got Adams. I get it, but it still bothered me. I'm not gonna lie. All right, here we go. Tre Tucker on this one. This one, you talk about his route running a little bit because he just rounds this route off way too much. It's not a clean post route at all. I mean, it's not a great throw either. But I mean, definitely feel like he could have let him more so get some separation because that's what I mean by just throwing this ball like over here. Because even this is not a great route, right? But if you throw this ball towards the corner of the end zone and he just goes, that guy's not going to get to him.
I feel like Tre Tucker needs to learn. Go ahead. I feel like Tre Tucker needs to learn that like second gear. You know what I mean? Like he has a problem with stopping. He can fly, but he can't he can't be under control and fly right now.
Exactly. But I still think O'Connell got to get this ball out in front here.
For sure.
So just throwing it to him. If he just lob, there's nobody back. If he just lobs it, he's gonna go get it. He's great tracking the football. That's what I mean. The Raiders need somebody that could just. It's gonna be like Trey, go get it.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Or if you're gonna throw it there, you got to rip it. You can't put air on it, especially to a guy that's 5'11".
I just want to show what happened after that play, 4th and 1 on the 43. All right, here we go. Here's another one where I just had to, like I said, he's even, he's leaving. He's even, he's leaving. He's, you know what I mean? That's what the Raiders need. If the Raiders want a quarterback, we need a guy who's like Tre Tucker is even with the safety. I'm going to throw it over here.
Yeah.
You know? I mean, it's not a bad decision. It's first down. It's not terrible. You know what I mean? But it's just like for next year. We're thinking about next year here. He's even. He's leaving.
Yeah. Let it rip.
Let it rip. He's looking at it too. I think he's just like, I know the guy was about to come in his face, and he doesn't have the arm without stepping into that. So he couldn't throw it. So that's what I mean. I mean, just if you got to, I mean, Justin Fields is playing really well. You got to go trade him. Get Caleb Williams. Caleb Williams is throwing this sidearm to the 40 to the 20-yard line and saying, Trey, go get it. That's what I mean. They need that type of quarterback with him. He's a damn weapon, bro. He's already would have had like 100 yards already.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? All right. So here's another one. This one kind of shows a little bit how, you know, he's a smaller guy, right? This guy kind of just gets a little physical with him. You know, I think there's a lot of touching for downfield, you know, but that's just, it's what I'm saying. I don't know. It's just a lot of, a lot of grabbing and, you know, I guess,
yeah.
It's just weird to get this thing called, but you kind of see here how he still is a smaller guy, but these are some huge corners. These dudes are nuts. Both these guys are super long.
Gus Bradley corners.
I know, man. These guys are long. So, because he initially beats him a little bit here. So initially beats him here a little bit, but then this guy, looks like he's a pretty fast dude right there. Man. All right, let's finish this off. 2 good routes here from him. So this is talk about a little bit of him running a better route here. Not as many steps out of his break. It's kind of, you know, if you take it back to the Dolphins one, doesn't round his off as much as again separation. I mean, it's still not the cleanest route, but it's just cleaner. You know what I mean? Which means he's working on it. And the speed element's still there because he gets Brinson side turn, boom, side turn, and that's what he wins right there. And Brent still almost recovers. All right, and this was a pretty good route here too. And getting a blind spot there, get physical there, get a push, come back to the football, use his hands, good play. So I really like this one too because he comes back to the football, uses his hands, gets physical. So, yeah, man. And I just wanted to show. I showed this angle because he's running wide open on this one too because he's just wide open. Just look at it. So just, you know, I know you got to throw to Devonte though. You got to throw to Devonte. I get it. Oh, I forgot to move my side face. Our faces are on the whole time. Who cares about? But anyways, yeah. So there, that was Devonte
locking on Devonte Adams.
Locking on Devonte Adams. I mean, it was there. I mean, that's why he had 21 targets if you saw it. But I thought Adams definitely there is a kind of a way to use him in the future to keep him effective. I think that they just can't depend on him, you know, beating press coverage every single time. That's the kind of the thing. You know, that's what happened in the Chiefs game. The Chiefs went full on press, and you know, Snead gave him all the, you know, issues that he had. So see, the press is still there, but I mean, as a slot receiver, I mean, that dude is just. I mean, do you need Hunter Renfrow at this point? Like, I feel like if you want to move on from somebody, it'd probably be Hunter, and you could just interchange Adams and, you know, move him outside sometimes, move him inside sometimes, and kind of use him a little bit more like kind of like Keenan Allen, I would say, because then you can match him up on linebackers, you can get him up on zone, and he's still so effective. You can tell how good of a slot player he is. He's finding zones, he's finding holes, he's catching the football. Yeah, you can still get like 110 catches out of him, I believe. I don't know if it's just going to be for 1,500 yards. that's the thing. But go ahead.
I was gonna say, is comparing him to Keenan Allen, is that your way of saying Devontae's slow now?
I mean, he always was slow, but now he's just he can't deceive. It's like he can't change the speed things and stuff that he used to do. But I don't know. Like maybe he comes out, he gets healthier and he shuts me up, right? And so I can't beat press. Maybe he does it, but I'm not saying he can't beat press. It's just not as consistent. Like it's hard to have people understand what I'm saying, because last year it was just like incredible to watch.
Oh yeah,
it was like unstoppable. It just was. He couldn't be stopped by anybody. So it's just this weird kind of to see him look a little bit more human, I guess it is. But
yeah. I mean, even last week I think he talked about it too. Like Snead was kind of in his grill all game, and obviously like you're talking about before in the past, Devonte Adams beats that all day. And the last couple of weeks, like, we just haven't seen him beat it like that. He's struggled with the physicality. He's struggled with guys in his face. So,
yeah. But and then Tre Tucker, he's just as I said, I just need a quarterback who just sees Trey and just trusts Trey's going to beat those two safeties, because he probably will if you throw it far enough. Like it's just some of that, man. Like like on man, a free release go route, bro. Like he's gonna. Yeah, I might throw as soon as he catches up to the safeties. Right, he gets right to his feet. I'm throwing it because he's gonna outrun him to the ball. He tracks it really well, man, and that's why I think he has a chance to be. If he's not gonna be like a great guy, and he's definitely that 4,900 guy. I think he could be like that. 50, that type of guy where he's not really. Maybe affecting a lot of game, but he's gonna have those 3 for 73 or the 4 for 94 type of games where maybe you're not heavily targeting him, but when you do target him, it's a huge play.
Right.
So, I think that he's your big play wide receiver, man. That's what he is. He's a big play wide receiver. Yeah. All right, dude. Let's get to this offense. Defense. I mean. Yeah.
Sounds good. All right. So, like I said, go over some John Jenkins clips first. By the way, didn't put this in any particular order as far as like positive, negative. I just wanted to keep it as far as like the game flow went, so you guys can get a sense of that a little bit. So we're going to be bouncing back and forth between some good plays, between some good plays and some bad plays as well. So this is actually, I believe, this is the first play of the game. If not the first, it's the second. You're going to see the Colts run a little mid zone here, and what that's going to do is that's going to put this guard and this guard in the center, on a combo block against Jenkins. And as we can see, I mean, this is what you can't have happen, especially when you're outside leverage on the or outside shade on the center, or technically inside shade on the guard, but outside of line on the center. As far as this point, like you can see it a little bit here, like this is the lane. This is exactly where the Colts want to run through in this mid zone, right? This is B gap. And Jenkins is actually going to get in on the tackle here. But the only reason why that happens is because Nate Hobbs does a great job of basically reading it and crashing downhill to beat this wide receiver across his face. And Jenkins gets bailed out a little bit there. And we'll see that as a common theme throughout this, just a heads up. Moving on to a little bit or a more positive play. This is actually the very next play. And it's kind of basically a similar play call, just a little bit different formation, going to be mid-zone to the weak side. And Jenkins, this time, we're going to see him do a much better job of recognizing it and boom, right here, attacking the center. And I mean, this is beautiful right here. Like he's technically responsible for this weak side A gap, but because he was more physical and a little bit stronger at the point of attack, he actually closes the gap with the man and then is able to show color to the inside, and he's right there to make the play. So again, kind of the good and the bad with this guy. He had 4 defensive stops by PFF. I think we're going to see all 4 of them here. So next one, we're going to get a little bit of power or a little more gap scheme. And I mean, that's Quentin Nelson right there. I know Quentin Nelson's not the same guy he used to be, but I can guarantee you he's not getting many guys like this, lock him out, and then get off the block and go and get involved in play. Also, back this up. Shout out Rob Spillane. Kind of up and down game for him too as well. But you'll see him take on the tight end, and boom, gives Jonathan Taylor no room to work with, and cuts it right back into Jenkins there. Going back again, the common theme here. You're going to see him get scooped again. John Jenkins gets scooped again here. Another little zone run play. Now, I do have to say on this one, kind of pretty much the same thing as we saw on that first clip. Biggest difference is, or with Hobbs kind of saving the day a little bit here. The problem with this one, though, that was really bad is, I mean, we start this at what? What is this? This 25, 27 yard line, 28 yard line.
Mm-hmm.
And he's going to finish at like the 31. When you're 330 pounds and you're in the game to stop the run, you can't be getting driven back 3 yards. And reached and scooped. Because, I mean, again, Kelly kind of gets to his outside shoulder, like right here, like where my cursor is right here. Like that's where Jenkins needs to be. That's his gap. As we can see, Kelly's got his helmet on that side. Again, Hobbs isn't there. That's going to be going for a first down. Find Diablo with a nice little tackle back there. Now, this one might be the worst clip that we're going to see. Reason being is he's not even going to get combo blocked on this time. They're just going to have Quentin Nelson like one-on-one block him. And he's playing a 3 technique, right? So he's outside shade on Quentin Nelson. Again, the common theme here, getting reached. Now, Marcus, you're an offensive guy. Do you want this kind of a lane, this highway?
Yeah, I mean, that looks pretty nice.
Yeah. I mean, Rob Spillane ends up saving the day. And if he doesn't, I mean, maybe Trevon Moehrig, we'll see this play again later from Moehrig. Maybe he ends up making the tackle. But if Rob Spillane's not there, that might be 6. Because, again, when we can't have our 3 technique get reached and solo blocked by the guard, that's how we create. Not even just rushing lanes, just straight highways.
Mm-hmm.
All right,
and they're all
this
getting
one
bus
is
kicked up right here. Well,
yeah, that's kind of what I was talking about. Is like there were good plays, like there were plays like the one before where like the Raiders were plugging their gaps, doing everything, and then there were plays like that where we got those chunk runs, and that's what ended up killing them is they couldn't get off the field in the second half. I think the Colts scored on every possession. It was all field goals. They scored on every possession, but the kneel down. So. That was part of the issue. Now, this one I did like, though. It's going to absorb some contact here. I think this was 3rd and 1, if I remember correctly. So the Colts are just basically running dive. What Hicks was talking about a little bit with those splitters and a lot of those wham blocks. But Jenkins is going to recover nicely and kind of work Ryan Kelly right at the point of attack and do a much better job of plugging up those inside survive contact from Quentin Nelson. So this is what we kind of want him in the game for. And again, this is kind of what I'm talking about where when the Colts wanted to go outside runs and outside zones, they kind of got what they wanted against him a little bit. But when they went inside is when he was kind of at his best right here. This is the one for you, Marcus. Okay. Now, I'm going to preface this. It's trap, which is hard for a defensive tackle because part of it's what Quentin Nelson does. Like he does a great job luffing the block. But ideally, what you'd like to see happen is Jenkins recognizes this and then stays inside and works to inside, like with the wrong arm or something like that, to against his tight end. Instead, he recognizes it late. By the time he realizes what's going on, I mean, he probably recognized it right about here. I mean, it's too late at this point. Like, Mo Alley Cox is right in him. Robert Spillane, he kind of this was talking about. Good and the bad game for him, where he's kind of getting stuck on the block. And I mean, Taylor picks up what, 20 on that?
Yeah.
Again, tough play for Jenkins to make, but when you're in the game and your role as a run defender, I'd like to see him stay a little bit closer to these offensive line, a little closer to the heel line, and get that wrong arm, and he might plug that gap up. And maybe Nate Hobbs here makes that play. Max Crosby maybe in there too, but. Unfortunately, that one goes for 20. And that's kind of what I was talking about. Is 1 yard run or a chunk run, nothing in between, which was a big part of the problem. A little bit different here. Again, another change of pace, duo. Another good job taking on the double team. We're going to see it here. Survive contact. And this time doesn't make the play, but you can see like Going to absorb that contact from, I'm not sure what that guard's, or excuse me, that's Bernard Raymond. I believe, no, it's the right tackle. That's what's the guy? Braden Smith.
Mm-hmm.
Good job, absorb contact, and boom, locking out the guard, plugging up our gap here, showing color to the inside, and then Taylor sees that, and then has to bounce it. Now, Max Crosby, you're my guy. The problem is Crosby kind of tries to play a little bit of hero ball here. Like he's responsible for the C gap outside of the D gap, outside the tight end. And he sees Taylor go inside and pops this gap a little bit too early. And then when it gets muddied up, Taylor sees that. And all of a sudden, a game that should have been gone for 1 or 2 yards ended up going for 5. So again, it's part of the issue. All right, this is another one. This one not quite as bad. Playing out the zero technique, going to get reached by the center. Again, outside runs, man. Got to make that tackle. Is that Jerry Tillery? No surprise. But yeah, so this is kind of what I'm talking about. Again, when they want to go outside, it was chunk runs. Get reached here. Tillery, I think Tillery's slanting in that gap. Rob Spillane. I mean, can't take on blocks like this. This is what old Rob Spillane did. We're just covered up with a refrigerator magnet. And there's the lane. Taylor picks up. I think he got the first there. What is that? 12 or something like that. Yeah.
And getting bullied.
Yeah, a little bit. Yeah, this was tough. This was the second half. Again, we're getting into towards the end of the game here. Raiders defense started getting worn down a little bit, and the runs weren't quite as nice. But we're going to end on two high notes. This one was my favorite play, just because one gets a little bit of contact. Now Spillane crashes downhill far enough to occupy the guard. But we're going to see Jenkins bench press Ryan Kelly, the center, to win at the point of attack. And then with Kelly still hanging on to his right arm, he's going to stick his big old left arm out there and go ahead and get involved in the tackle on Jonathan Taylor, who's not exactly a small dude. But also a little shout out below Nichols here. Get involved in the play. So again, this is kind of what I was talking about. It was either one extreme or the other. 1 to 2 yard gain or a 10-yard gain. Last clip from Jenkins here. Again, going to survive another combo block. And boom, make the play. So that was a nice thing. Anytime the Colts did try and run inside, he was kind of there and being able to plug up gaps. But for the most part, those outside runs are really what killed them. And just the Jekyll and Hyde of the run defense. Moving on to Trevon Moehrig. So I think one thing that we both talked about a lot especially in the offseason, is one of the things that he struggled with was man coverage against tight ends. Now, obviously, this is Kylan Granson, not exactly Travis Kelce out there.
Yeah.
But what I liked is he was playing a lot more physical this game than I ever remember seeing him. Right here, like you're going to see him get his hands, fight a little fire with fire. I mean, that's perfect position right there, getting the hip pocket, especially with the safety help over the top. And obviously Minshew ends up checking it down. But that's airtight coverage right there. There's no balls going there, and Minshew can't even look his way. Going to get a similar rep here. This time the Colts are going to release their tight ends and run a little out and go with Granson. And it's going to be actually a pretty good play call. They got the look they wanted. And we'll see Moehrig. He's going to trip a little bit over Nate Hobbs, but he does a great job of recovering. And then, two, this is what I'm talking about with him being a little bit more physical, is instead of just running with him, right there, he kind of makes some contact with him and like gets his shoulders turned a little bit. And that's going to slow him up just enough for that overthrow. And I mean, even if this is on target, even if the timing doesn't get disrupted, which again, Moehrig does a good job of, I mean, he's in a perfect position to rake hands at the catch point and prevent that incompletion. So there's another good rep later in the game too. It was kind of similar, just didn't show it on this one, but a lot better from him in man coverage. I was liking a lot more what I was seeing from him. Going to get a few clips against the run. This one, let's see what we get a little pin and pull concept. This is what I was talking about from earlier in the game. Moehrig going to take on a block from Granson. Again, not the best technique in the world, but we take the fight to him. We be physical and we can get away with it. Gets off the block. Again, Spillane's there to help him out, but going to get involved in the tackle. A lot more physical and playing like he wants it. I think that was that set up a 3rd and 1 later in the game. So big stop. This clip is my favorite, but And I will admit that Trevon Moehrig's not really going to make an impact on this play, but I'm just going to let it run. Boom. Again, Trevon Moehrig doesn't make the tackle here, but this is what I'm talking about. When he was playing like he wanted to make the playoffs, Trevon Moehrig came ready to play. And next time Michael Pittman comes to block in the middle, you can guarantee he's going to be thinking about that. Like, I can watch this all day. Kaboom! And, I mean, Pittman ends up running into Taylor a little bit there. So again, like what I'm seeing. I like a little bit of physicality. They put Moehrig in the box a little bit more in this game, which I thought was interesting. And tell you what, he lived up to the role. That was his last play. This play, there's, I believe, 10 minutes left in the fourth quarter. Raiders are down 7. And this is what I'm talking about, where he's playing like a guy that wanted to make the playoffs, wanted to make the win. Like, he's on the backside here, the outside toss run. And instead of just kind of quitting on the play like we've seen, some other guys do earlier in the year, going to go pursue, put a nice little move on that lineman to avoid the block. And Epps ends up missing the tackle. But if Moehrig's not there, I mean, this might be 6, because the only other person that's going to have a chance to make this play is Jack Jones, who's pursuing from the other side of the field. And that's a hard play to make once if Sermon cuts back here and Jack Jones' momentum going that way. So, but Moehrig's in a great position. At least give us a fighter's chance. So that's kind of what I was talking about a little bit from him. Is one, he just came to play, willing to stick his nose in and get physical in the game, both in a little bit in coverage and against the run. And I'll tell you what, man, that guy played like he wanted to win. That's for sure.
And they got their ass kicked up front. Good Lord. So
that's what I was talking about. I watched it and I guess I just didn't realize how many chunk runs they had throughout the game. And then watching it back, I'm like, yeah, that was the second half. Like, it was basically the Colts just didn't have to throw the ball because they knew if they ran it twice, they'd get 10 yards on one of the runs at least.
Yeah, I mean, they ran it like 11 straight times at one point, right? Like a whole drive. They didn't pass.
Yeah.
That's not good. Yeah, that's not good. But you know what I mean? But that's why you go for it on 4th and 1. I'm telling you, man, that was a big part of this game for me, man. Like, those 3 4th downs, like, if they convert 2 of those, I mean, one of them, they did convert it because they got a rough from the kicker. But if they convert just like one of those, you know what I mean?
Yeah. Man. Need a little Dan Campbell aggressiveness out of Antonio Pierce moving forward, I guess.
Yeah, I mean, at least when we're playing for the playoff. I mean, this is not week 2.
Yeah.
This is week 17. I mean, especially when you do like a play action on 3rd and 1, and then he misses. And you just lead things like that. I mean, that was and then they're running all over you. Yeah, it just wasn't.
The one thing I am curious about though, I do remember they were talking about for whatever reason the Raiders could convert 3rd and long, especially in the first half they can convert 3rd and long no problem, and then it came to 3rd and short and it was like, oh, now they can't get it. It was almost better for them to be behind the sticks at least in the first half. That was so I'm sure that part was part of it, but it's one of those things too. If you play your odds, you have 3 yards to go, I would hope if you get a 50% shot, you're going to get it on the second chance.
Or 1 yard. 1 yard to go. Yeah. One time, I think before, was it the roughing the kicker? I don't know which one was it, but they came out there and they did a fake thing and they did it. O'Connell had 2 yards if he just fell forward. I was like, just run a play, do a sneak.
Was that the 3rd and half a yard where they ran the double reverse screen pass thing, whatever?
That was
is that the one you're talking about or a different one?
I think they came out after that play. What happened after that play? Yeah,
because after that play, it was 4th and they went for it, but Illuminor jumped off sides and then they punted. Oh
yeah, that was another one. One. But that was 4th and 6. It's fine. But there's still 2 other times where there was it's the 4th and 1. You're up 7-3. You're down 7-3. 4th and 1. I think you just got to go for it, bro, at that point. And if you go for it, then maybe you can get 3 at that point. You have a pretty good drive. It's a different game. And they lost by 3 points. I don't know, man.
Missed opportunities, man.
Yeah, that's what it was. So, there's a little bit of this game was a little bit of a coaching. There's a little bit of, getting punched in the mouth. And, because they're getting punched in the mouth a little bit on the offensive line a little bit, but
yeah,
and Zamir White was playing pretty well. He played pretty well. Sometimes he saw some of the old vision issues that I usually see. He's running into somebody's back.
Running into people.
Running into somebody's back. So he saw a little bit of that, but you still saw some better vision than he has before. But it was just funny. As soon as Kolton Miller came in the game, like everything just changed. It just looked like a totally different offense.
Yeah.
He scored 17 points as soon as he came in the game. Just saying, man. It was weird. All right. Any last thoughts, Matt, before we get out of here? Anything?
I mean, I think he summed it up pretty well. Just ended up getting punched in the mouth. I don't know. 2 back-to-back 10 a.m. or no, I guess. Yeah, 10 a.m. kicks for body clock, in the short week. But just disappointing to see that happen with how they've been playing in the past.
Yeah, I don't know. It just looked like it wasn't meant to be, type of thing. Like that's what it was just, one of those games. Especially like the onside kick. The onside kick just happened to bounce off his chest backwards.
I guess it's fate, man.
And then the offsides with Jack Jones. That was a controversial play.
Yeah.
I saw a lot of people went right to the special teams all 22. They didn't even watch the game. They went straight to the special teams all 22. Let's see if he was offsides.
Not gonna lie, I thought about it.
You thought about it? You thought about it, right? Let me see.
Let me take a look. But yeah, I mean, he even posted the clip like if it slowed down. Bad call, man. He just timed it up perfectly.
It was a bad call. Bad call. It was, man. And that was a game changer too because they went right down the field and scored a touchdown. So, yeah. All right. We're out of here, guys. Hope you guys enjoyed this episode. Like I say, hit the subscribe button, guys. Subscribe. We're at 10,000. Get us to 11,000, guys. Share it. Share the episode if you like it. Saying we deep dive into Devonte Adams, Tre Tucker, John Jenkins, and Trevon Moehrig. And of course, a bunch of to talk about football here. So hit the subscribe button, guys. Of course, you can start getting to the draft. Probably do some draft stuff this week. I got just, Michael Penix Jr. I keep saying, am I saying his name wrong?
Dude, yeah, it's Penix.
Michael Penix.
You can't be Penix, dude. Mike Penix. It sounds like a
Michael
bad
Penix.
joke.
Michael Penix Jr. I'm gonna get it right, guys. I'm gonna get it right. You guys know I mess up names forever. It takes me about a couple months. I was called Will Levis. Will Levis. I called him Levis the whole draft time. So
that's right, bro.
So Michael Penix Jr. balled out yesterday. Threw 400 yards, something like that.
Dude, he killed it. He crushed it.
Balled yesterday. So his buzz is up there, and then of course you got the Harbaugh rumors with JJ McCarthy. I already got JJ McCarthy up though. If you want to go watch that versus Ohio State. You got the Ohio State game. It's really quick. It's like a 10-minute video because they do the ball 10 times. Yeah, I did. Actually, I did. I did with him. Caleb Williams had to stop, man. I was like, man, I'm not doing all 50 throws, man. I think it's I got 35. I was like, guys, this is enough. You get the idea. Picture. It's enough. JJ McCarthy, whole game. I did every single throw. Every single play, man. It's 20 plays. So, but yeah. So I don't know about that might be the Raiders' future, man. Don't laugh. I mean,
I 1,000%. Trust me. I've been saying it for a while. Jim Harbaugh is Mark Davis's Great White Buffalo, and Jim Harbaugh loves J.J. McCarthy. So
let's keep it right here though. Is Jim Harbaugh gonna look at Justin Herbert and be like, no?
I would think not. But
that's the thing with Harbaugh.
The one thing that you can point out to is Spanos is notoriously a cheap owner, so Harbaugh might price himself out. Granted, Spanos has been spending money lately, like on the 2 wideouts they got, and obviously Herbert got the big fat contract, but I don't know. Does he cheap out on a coach?
I don't know. You can't cheap. Harbaugh's probably 20, he's probably a lot of money.
What is the going rate for a coach nowadays? Is it 10 mil? 15 mil?
Maybe.
I mean,
Daniels was what, 6? Was he 6 years, 70?
That's right. Yeah, something like that.
So Daniels was 6. Gruden was 10.
Gruden was 10 for 10 million each. But
10 years, 100 million. And the Gruden rumors, I keep seeing them. I want that to stop. Somebody stop it. I don't know why that's a thing. I want to know. Whoever put that out there. I saw Benjamin Albright say it. Ian Rappaport said it on Sunday.
Like I said on Sunday, as much as Mark Davis loves Harbaugh, he loves John Gruden more. Like that's his boo, man. Like that's his guy that he's loved for years. Remember, wasn't it didn't he if I remember correctly, when he gave Jack Del Rio the contract extension, didn't he even joke about hiring Gruden, and then the next year fired Jack Del Rio and then hired Gruden. Like if he thought he could get away with hiring Gruden, he'll hire Gruden, and Gruden still wants to coach there.
I know, that's why. So it might be real. That's what the more I see it. Once I saw it on NFL.com, I was like, oh no, that's not funny. Like, why is this on NFL.com? This is supposed to be like on like Raiders, Raiders content,
not NFL rumors or whatever. Those
not from a real NFL insider.
Yeah,
man.
We'll see.
Woo, that'll be some interesting stuff. I mean, do we trade back for Derek Carr? Do you think it was Derek Carr back? Is he going to trade? Let's bring Derek back. Or is he rolling Aidan? See, that's the thing with too. He would roll. He's the type of guy that'd be like, so what does Aidan do well? And then like build a good system around him and like make him effective. That's why I don't like, because Gruden would come in. He'd come in here like, what can I do? What is his quirks? What does he do well? And build a whole system around him, like everything he does well. And then have that dude like looking really good and be like, man, I don't know. Just a lot of thoughts.
It sounds like you're talking yourself into hiring John Gruden.
I'm not talking about somebody. I know I love him. I love John Gruden's offense. I think he's offensive mastermind. He can't run the ball for some reason, but he let Tom Cable do that. As long as he doesn't bring Tom Cable back, he's a passing offensive mastermind. He's ridiculous. It's nuts. He's really good. And I mean, you can see what he did with Derek Carr. So like, you see Carr after, right? And you see Carr with Gruden. It's like, who was the mastermind? Look what he did with Rich Gannon. Let me keep it real. Look what he did with Rich Gannon. He does a lot. Chris Sims looked halfway decent. He's a great quarterback. He's a great passing guy. Passing game. He is great there, and he could. Yeah, he would find a way. He would build everything around Aidan O'Connell and every single thing he does well, and we'd have receivers that fit his little things, and just hope he doesn't. If he comes and he isn't like that. But I just hope that doesn't happen. I
mean, either one of those guys. Like, I just hope like if they do get hired, like we've been talking about before, I just hope they like don't get to pick the GM or they still answer the GM. Like that's my biggest qualm with either one of those guys. As someone who's big on personnel, because that's part of Gruden's problem is he thinks he can coach up anybody. That's how you end up with.
You can coach up anybody.
Yeah.
I can build a system because what he is his coaching clinic. He says, I don't need Lamar Jackson. I don't need Patrick Mahomes. He said that. He says that. He said that because all he needs is a quarterback that can run his system. and that's what Derek Carr is. He's talking about Derek Carr so much in that coach clinic because he's like, I don't need Lamar Jackson. I guess you do, bro. You do. You need that.
You don't need him, but it helps.
You don't need a Lamar Jackson. You don't need a Patrick Mahomes. Bill Walsh had Joe Montana. Anyways,
we're getting loopy.
Yeah, I know. I'm going long. I'm getting on this just Gruden rant, but it's there's just so many reports of that. I'm tired of seeing. I just hope I never see it again, man. I'm sorry. I just don't want to do that again. I don't want to do it. All right, guys. Sorry, we went a little longer, but subscribe. That was a little side episode there. We're out here. Peace.